Icon Spotlight, where every story is a blueprint of innovation and leadership. I'm Sheetal Acharya, and let's welcome on the spotlight our guest, Debasis Bhaumic, who is a high-impact senior leader celebrated for energizing organizations and hardwiring transformation into their core. And he is also a great author. Hi Debasis, welcome to our show, and it's really a pleasure to host you today.
Thank you so much, Sheetal, for having me.
So Debasis, let's start with the author side of yours. What sparked your interest in writing books, especially the latest one, right? First Day at Work, and you have written like few more books. So from where it all initiated?
So during the pandemic period, I was at home, not traveling as much for work or otherwise. So thought of reaching out to people. I was not feeling connection with the people. Otherwise, I would go for a social event or whatnot. So then thought of writing first book, which was around the leadership principles I've been living by. Thought of crystallizing and writing in a book, which I did. That was my first book, and it was very successful. And I felt good about it. Most importantly, it felt that I could get my thought crystallized and potentially impacted few people in a positive way. So I kept writing, so it became a little bit of hobby for me. And so I published 4 books so far, and the last one, which you were just referring to, came out like a couple of weeks back. It's called First Day at Work. So this is about, when we talk to people, we often ask a question, how are you and whatnot, right? And most probably we gloss over the response, and we often don't even wait for the response. In this case, an older lady who lost her husband last year, I asked that question. I was just reaching out to find out about herself. And one led to the other. I kept asking questions. It turns out that since, people asked her, how are you, many times, but it was more about how is your family? How are the kids? How is the husband? But when I kept asking that question, she shared with me more than she shared with her kids even. And one day she said that, I wanted to be a teacher. And I never got to because I was a homemaker all my life. And then, now I took over the school. I'm a principal now. So that struck something in me. And I wanted to write about, based on her life to some extent, but it's not a memoir at all. It's about watching a woman's journey through different phases of life as he passes through societal judgment and how people expect out of women, etc. And so here it is. I know a few people have read it, and I heard somebody who said that the person actually cried for a bit after reading it. So, which was not in a bad way. She was just crying because she connected with the emotions. So, that's how I became a little bit of an author, and I intend to keep writing more.
So Debasis, you have also been into teaching. I think you were with Mount Royal University in Calgary.
Yeah. So I with Mount Royal and University of Calgary, I did some content education teaching, so which is like in the evenings or on the weekends. And I really love teaching because it feels refreshes you. You get to meet so many new people, fresh questions. It energizes you. So I often went there not for in the intention of giving back, but I often got more back out of that, And even before that, long time back, when I was in university, I taught physics in high schools and gave tuitions, etc. And I always found lot of satisfaction in teaching, and I feel that teaching, coaching, these activities gives you a lot of satisfaction and kind of hit refresh on you. So I love it. So
Absolutely.
I don't get to do that as much anymore, but yeah.
Was it something connected to from your school days where, you were looking for a mentor kind of thing, and now you feel that you should be mentoring someone to make their career?
I never thought about that. That's a really good question. And I definitely did not miss a mentor in the sense that my dad was really good mentor, but he was not in a professionally aware position for mentoring me professionally. So I feel like mentoring or giving people the right tips or little coaching or helping them to see themselves can go a very long way. And I wish I got more of that in the past, and I'm grateful to whoever has given me that coaching and welcoming. This is amazing, right? So I think that's one of the best profession in the world, giving the right amount of coaching and things. And I think anybody who gets a chance, it's a privilege. If somebody asking for a help or some kind of guidance for you, I think it's a privilege. And I would take every opportunity to provide the best I can. So yeah, I love it.
Absolutely, and it definitely gives a sense of fulfillment.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a wonderful thing for if you could help the society.
Yeah.
So Devashin, let's talk a bit about your early days. What led you to get into technology?
I don't think it was planned, to be honest. So I did my master's in physics, was going to go to do PhD and all that kind of stuff which people do after doing masters. And then technology was a thing at that time, becoming very interesting. Computers looked very cool. So I started my own startup and hired my sister as the first employee because nobody will come to work for free, right? That's what I did. And after I got her, then got a couple of her friends and got a little company going. It was actually going very, very well. I had more business than I could deliver. And then ultimately I had to exit out of that, sell to somebody, because it was hard to retain talent at that time back in India because the technology was a boom. Everybody wanted to be associated with a larger brand, etc. I get it. And so I exited that. And since then I'm working in different companies in different roles, obviously. So that's how I came to technology. It's just the timing and the place, and you felt like you got to do something in that space, kind of a thing, like how everybody wants to talk about AI these days. It was like technology at that point, right? So I got into it.
So being an entrepreneur, what kind of lessons or kind of learnings you still carry from that time?
Well, I think that's a very important point. I have a ton of respect for entrepreneurs, especially small, medium, size companies who are running and doing that. It just makes you to work as a technologist one part of the day, as a salesperson another part of the day, as a marketing person another part of the day. It's like a management PhD. You can't do that. I mean, you don't get that much experience by doing any PhD actually. It's like a thing you do and you get to do everything. You get to know how the accounts work, you know what will actually increase your bottom line or not. You just get it. And you can do many MBAs, but you can do 5 times. You'll never get the same experience. So I think it teaches you all that. So one of the early examples, Sheetal, was the first project. It was from a jewelry company. And I did the whole thing. I did it really well. And I was so passionate, well developed on a Sunday. There was no Saturday, Sunday for entrepreneurs, right? That's the other interesting thing. And you go, and I was demoing this software. I was so proud. I was just expecting he will just say, wow. And then he said, this is good. It really works. And he says, if somebody came with a gold ornament and say build it, how you do that in the software? So there's a fundamental difference between gold and anything else. Most things you sell, everything comes in exchange of a cash. Gold by default is like a cash. So it can also be exchanged as a currency. And I completely missed that requirement. So I never forget that. So that's why you have to listen for the real need and not only think about these things. So important to listen when you're doing requirement gathering or understanding the real need versus often only what is told, right? So that's how it is. That's why I think that those are real examples. And when it hurts you, it's not like a project gets delayed by 2 weeks or something. You can see the whole impact starting from the sales all the way to the balance sheet in one go.
Absolutely.
That's the learning of an entrepreneur. I think there's nothing else gives that.
So all those learnings are still with you and in a positive way.
Yep.
So that's great. Devashish, let's talk a bit. We talked about, understanding the customer. So what are the key challenges that you usually face when the business value versus the technology aspect, balancing out that for your clients?
Yeah, I think my favorite statement is, I think I wrote in that book exactly the words where people are the differentiator and technology is commodity. I truly believe that. Yeah, there is some frontline companies who are doing new technology innovation. It's almost like a research and development. Those are different. But 90% of the people who work in technology are working in application of technology in most part, right? So when it comes to application of technology, it is for a purpose or a need, right? So if you can't understand the need, that's the first thing, right? You've got to really understand the need. So I even say need more than requirement, because sometimes people don't know what the requirement is, or requirement is the next stage. Really understand why and the need. And secondly, once you understand the why and the need, then the most important thing is like, how do you, like thinking about like what is the, how do you connect that with the business? And then when it comes to that, it is all about the change. If you think all the big ERP projects, which often in most companies go delayed, over budget, etc., all of that is because of the people and the change and people's ability to understand, adapt, communicate the requirement, and all of the above. Is 195% of that is around people. So knowing those two things, that need and clearly understand the why we are doing that, and then understanding is ultimately all technology project is 90% people project. I think that's the magic. I think I 100% believe that. That's exactly true for almost every project, most companies too.
And that's a wonderful insight. So Debashish, what does transformative leadership means to you?
Well, I think maybe I'll start with what leadership means to me. And I think it was not very long ago, maybe 10, 15 years back, I think I figured out what leadership means to me. Before that, I always was a leader type, meaning even in school, college, like captaining teams, cricket team, etc., which naturally came to me. I like to lead an impact or whatnot. But that was one type of leadership. It was leading, meaning I'm driving. And then I, at some point, became people leader, as they call it, and become manager, meaning I driving an impact, some people's performance, etc. Then a moment came where I realized leadership is equal to coaching, almost like a role of a coach. And I really started getting pleasure when my team, my stakeholders, my people around me grew and got success, as much as when I got personally success. And it came. I didn't work towards it. One day it happened, or sometimes it happened. When it happened, I felt like I got a lot more pleasure out of leadership, and I feel like I get a lot more joy, not just for my success, people around me, their success too. So I just get bonus joy out of that. And that's what leadership to me, and that's where a manager becomes a leader, I guess, right? So, and now I'm getting more older, I guess. I feel like leadership is again like coaching, really coaching. I almost want to call it coaching. You coach, you guide, you give feedback, ruthless feedback, and then make the team successful, enable the team, right? Almost like that. And then when I say feedback, that's a very important thing. Right? I have been star performers or top performers in almost all organizations I worked in most of my life. So, however, in the whole journey, there was good review and good feedback and not. So I felt for the longest time when the in annual review, etc., went for 2 minutes. And people said, oh, you're doing great, DV. Just keep doing that. 90% time I heard that all my life. I felt very proud of that. Now I feel very deprived because I feel like I missed the opportunity of some feedback. Somebody should have taken a little more time to give me some real feedback, because feedback is gift, right? I definitely have some things to work on. I must have something to work on. But knowing that, somebody prompting that and showing the courage to do that, I think would be good. So I'm a huge believer that a leader needs to give good feedback and expect feedback in return too. So that's what I think about leadership.
So Debashish, we would like to know more about your current role and your day-to-day roles and responsibilities.
Yeah, so if you ask from a job description perspective, you're responsible for lots of application, lots of data, lots of AI in our organization. More importantly, from my perspective, I'm more responsible for driving the organizational mandate through application of technology, making my team and the people around me and my stakeholders successful. That's how I look at it, because at the end of the day, I don't do a lot of hands-on stuff, obviously. So that's the goal. identifying the need, connecting that with the right technology opportunities, and enabling the team and the things to do, and obviously connecting with the supplier and the ecosystem, because nobody develops everything on their own. So that's the thing, and I get to work with almost everybody in the ecosystem, so that's very good. And you got to talk to so many diverse people and skills, so many smart people, that just makes my day very, very cool every day. So I have a Ted Lasso belief behind me in the office. And talking about coaching, I love that show. That's my second best favorite show. And that's the concept for me, for leadership and coaching. It's like we believe, we do something together, and really be very vulnerable. That's the key, vulnerable, and do mistakes. If you don't do mistakes as leader, your team cannot ever do mistakes comfortably. So do mistakes and admit that, and have fun with yourself and go. Somebody in my team says, if you leave on a Friday, like at 2 o'clock instead of later in the day, a little early, do it loudly. When you do it loudly, that leaves a
Impact.
comfort for people that it is okay to do that. Obviously, as long as you get your stuff done, etc. So yeah, so that's my role, I think. And obviously in my role also have a responsibility to connect with the community and connect all that. And personally, besides that day job, I'm connected with a lot of community organization and activities. So locally, I'm with United Way. I work a lot with them, and then also nationally with an organization called Let's Talk Science, which looks after STEM, augment STEM education for across Canada. So those are equally important to me. It's like equally important to me. Day job, of course, you have to do that, and there's a lot of reasons for that. And then you have to those things I choose to do as well in my spare time, personal time, and I love it.
Giving back to society.
Well, giving back or taking, I can get back a lot too, right? It's just is the integrate with the ecosystem. I'm a huge believer that when you come to an ecosystem, you got to integrate in the ecosystem, not stay in the fringes of the ecosystem. Just integrate with the ecosystem.
Right. So Debashish, what does inclusivity plays a role in your leadership style?
Yeah. So I have a very direct opinion on that. So I actually wrote a full book on that called Let's Do It Right. And I believe that inclusivity is not about checking out a lot of boxes of color and gender at birth, etc. It is about listening. It is about giving the time to listen to diverse opinion and thought, and have the courage to encourage diversity. And diversity is not something a leader chooses. Diversity is a reality of life. Everything is diverse in this world. Everything. Whether it's weather, whether it's location, whether it's demography, whether it's topography, everything is diverse. What a leader can choose, how inclusive the person should be. And I think it's a balance. You can be very inclusive, like a very slow government action, and include everybody and not get anything done ever. And you can be not inclusive at all, and not just do it one way. I think the balance is in between. Engaging the right amount of people, right level of people who needs to be included in a particular thing, and truly listening is a heart and mind exercise. It's not a check and box exercise. If you do that with true intention, then you get the best out of everybody, because everybody wants to contribute. The interesting thing for me is that even if you cannot include everybody in the same way. The first thing to know about inclusion is that you have to include people differently. So for example, I do town halls, etc. for my larger team and leadership team with another kind of meeting, etc. A lot of times people will not speak up in a larger group. Humans are not usually speak up in a larger group. Some people will like to be communicated with an email. Some people like to communicate it one-on-one. Some people can handle that 5 or 6 people in a group. So that's the channel of inclusion is very important, because if you really want to include, you have to meet the person in the channel they are comfortable, I think.
Talking about leadership again, what's the most challenging aspect of being a leader?
I think the most challenging aspect is you have to get stuff done. You have to balance with human priorities. and every human being is unique. We in organization, we cast them in a group with a role name or a type. That's how organization work. But ultimately, everybody is unique. And that uniqueness and spending the time, able to spend the time to cater to that uniqueness and to give people the time they deserve, I think is the most challenging thing. Time is the most precious thing in leadership, and how we can spread that appropriately to everybody gets the right time. So I think about people and their performance into 4 buckets. One is the skills, one's their behavioral capabilities and all that, and then what they going on in their life, and then what's the organization culture is. So there are multiple aspects of this. And if you really want to understand a person and a situation, you got to understand all the facets of it. So I have a person in my group, she has her mom going through Alzheimer, big thing going on, this thing going on, big pressure, etc. going on. You have to understand the full context and to think about that, whether that and somebody is going through some other crisis at home, and I sometimes am stressed out. Like, people will be people and they are unique. So appreciating and able to balance enough uniqueness.
So, Devashish, now, let's talk a bit about your early days, your hometown where you were born and brought up, and any fond memories that you would like to share with us from your childhood.
Yeah, so obviously childhood, most people have a lot of good memories. I hope most people have good memories. And my biggest thing was I grew up with an excellent, very well-knit family and extended family too. But we didn't have a lot of money. But it never bothered me. And I'm not saying that for anything else, but this is what makes me. My dad I like to play cricket. My dad used to get up, and I used to get up when I was a real baby, like a toddler, maybe get up at 4:35, and I still get up early. And my dad used to get up in the morning, play with me for good 2 hours.
Wow.
Before he got ready to go to work. Good 2 hours every day. So that time, the dad gave me and my parents gave me, I think that's the most fun thing. And when I fell sick like several times, but one a little longer time, and he just took complete off from office, complete, for 21 days, and he stayed with me all through that thing. I don't know if I can do that for my son. Not that I hope my son never falls sick that way, but the point is that it's just that dedication and this commitment just give you that feeling that there is somebody there unconditionally loving you. That's amazing. I think that's a huge strength.
And those are like all fond memories.
Yeah. And then I had lots of friends and lots of playing outdoor. We didn't have video games, so I couldn't stay indoor. We didn't have a television for a long time since I grew to a certain age. And even if we had television, during the day there was no television almost, right, besides some cricket. So went out and played all sorts of games, and I touched almost all games, and with friends and calling friends from the house, etc. So those are really fun, and some of them are still connected to. I was talking to one of them yesterday. He lives in New Jersey and he still plays cricket. He said he's played batted for 15 overs last weekend, and he's a wicket keeper, and he was my wicket keeper when he has to bowl, and he wicket kept for like 50 overs. Like, he is still keeping it going. I mean, I don't do that as much, but
do you get to play?
I don't play cricket anymore, but I play almost everything I can get to. I play bad, but I play everything. Whether it's tennis, whether it's golf, I play everything, but it's all bad, but I do.
But you do take out some time to
I do.
kind of be active.
Oh, yeah, I do.
That's great. Devashish, would like to know, like, where in India your roots belong to?
I was born in Kolkata. So I grew up in Kolkata, and then I worked in different places in India, and then before coming to North America, I worked in Mumbai, but I grew up mostly in Kolkata.
So, Devashish, who all are the key members in your family?
Well, right now, my world mostly revolves around my 12-year-old son and my wife. Obviously, they are my core family, and then I have my mom and sister, and they are the thing. And, when I'm not working or not doing my writing books or whatever, my thing, and is them. It's always them. And we love to be together, 3 of us. We feel like we are very fulfilled when the 3 of us together. So
Do you get time to kind of unplug and spend time with family, go on vacations?
Yeah, of course I do. Yeah, we do, and it's important. It is very, very important to unplug. And there is some things like health and family. I tell everybody in my work too is absolutely more priority than work, I believe. And not that work is less priority, but you got to have for time for family and health and wellness. There's no question about that. So I definitely do that. We are going for vacation next week. We'll watch a lot of baseball game and it'll be fun.
Yeah, wonderful. So Devashish, we are almost nearing end of our discussion, and at the end we have a round called as the rapid fire round, where I'll be asking you some questions and I'll be expecting some quick answers from you.
Okay,
Are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay, your first question. One thing on your desk that totally doesn't belong there.
Oh, you want it fast too, eh?
That's
One,
fine.
the
Continue.
one thing on his desk which doesn't belong there, my old water bottle.
Okay, do you have any special bonding with that?
No, it was just, so I think I have to get rid of that, and it was there for a while and it's still there. I think I have to get rid of that, yeah.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Next question. What's harder, starting change or sustaining it?
I think it is starting change.
Okay. Next one. Gen AI, hype, help, or huge opportunity?
Huge opportunity.
One compliment that truly stayed with you?
Kind and thoughtful.
Wonderful. If you could time travel for a day, past or future? Out of curiosity?
Yeah, out of curiosity, and I think that with everything going on with AI and the new technologies, the world will completely change. I'm a huge positive thinker about that, and I believe humankind will reach abundance. I want to see the abundance.
What's the last thing you Googled?
I don't Google these days as much. I go to the other chat GPT and other searches.
That's an honest answer.
Yeah.
Okay, taken. Pizza with pineapple, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. If you hosted a dinner party with 3 famous people, who's on the guest list?
Brian Brown, Donald Trump, and the Dalai Lama.
Okay. Thank you so much, Devashish. You really played well. And with this, we come to the end of our wonderful, wonderful discussion. And thank you so much for taking out time and being on our spotlight. And we wish you continued success. And thank you so much once again for being on our show.
Thank you so much, Shita. It was fun. It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.